What's up, guys? Neil Orfield here, taking a look at Stokastic's MLB DFS Lineup Generator for tonight's slate. It is August 3rd. While you're coming in, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification button so you can get alerts when our shows go live. And of course, if you have not yet signed up for the Lineup Generator, you can get it for 50% off your first week using the link in the description of this video. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Twitter, you can just use the link that is in my tweet. It's going to be just $4.48 for your first week using that link. It'll just be $8.95 after that as well. Remains a fantastic deal for a tool that only gives you long-term profitable lineups. All right, we're going to start by taking a look at some DraftKings lineups. I'm going to do all stack types and all lineup types. We should get a mix of chalky, balanced, and contrarian lineups. Not going to lock anybody in. All right, first lineup we have here on DraftKings, Shohei Ohtani and Adrian Hauser as the pitchers. We've got a 5-3 Twins-Yankees stack. We'll start by looking at the pitchers. So it's Ohtani and Hauser. Ohtani top of the board with a 39% chance of being a top two pitcher. Hauser kind of lower on the list near the bottom, 12% chance of being a top two pitcher. He's just 5,200. He is the least expensive pitcher on the board. Will allow you to make some lineups that no other pitcher will allow you to get to. But a little bit of negative leverage there. But this is if you're pairing him with Ohtani and an expensive stack, going to make some sense. And yeah, leaving 400 only on the table here. And then we had the Twins. Twins third on the board with an 11% chance of being the top stack. Yankees with a 6% chance of being the top stack. So we've got one of the better lineups here. Yankees kind of middle of the pack, a little bit lower on the board in terms of top stack odds, but then an 8% chance of being the top value stack as well. Twins with a 17% chance of being the top value stack. Looking good overall there. All right, and this one kind of on the chalkier end of the spectrum, not all the way on the chalky end of the spectrum. We do have some bats bringing down the ownership with Giancarlo Stanton at just 2% projected ownership, Gleyber Torres 7%. So, some lower ownership on a few players here, but in general, more of a chalky lineup here. All right, I'm going to save that one, take a look at the next one. Now, this one, even chalkier on the very far chalky end of the spectrum. We have a 4-4 Pirates and Cubs stack with Shohei Ohtani and Julio Urias as the pitchers. See where Urias is. He's number 2 on the board with a 29% chance of being a top 2 pitcher. We had the Cubs, who have a 15%. They're top of the board in terms of top stack odds, 15% chance of being the top stack, along with the Pirates, who are middle of the pack with an 8% chance of being the top stack. All right, I'm going to save that one. And now I'm just going to go through and save 20 lineups, see what our exposures look like. A lot more chalky lineups than usual here. All right, so I got to 85% Shohei Ohtani as my most exposed player, and then a big drop off to Bellinger, Tauchman, both at 50%, Nico Horner at 45%. So a lot of Cubs here. I'm pretty comfortable with this level of ownership on all of these players. I'm 85% Ohtani is a lot, but 39% chance of being a top 2 pitcher, not the end of the world. It's big gap between Ohtani and the next best in Julio Urias. So I don't mind just a little bit of negative leverage. I don't know that I want 85%, but I wouldn't want 85% in a 150 set. I think in a 20 set, I'm probably okay with having 85% Shohei Ohtani and 50% being my most exposed batter. I think I'm comfortable with this lineup, so I might just go exactly with this. Of course, we don't have the actual lineups yet. I would wait to make your lineups until we have the actual MLB lineups. Once those come out, who's in and out. That's when I want to be using this tool. Probably not just yet with 3 hours to go before lock. All right, let's take a look at some FanDuel lineups as well. Again, going to do all stack types, all lineup types. Not going to lock anybody. Pitcher for the first lineup, Shohei Ohtani. Then we've got a 4-3. Is that right? Yes, 4-3 Cubs Dodgers stack with Jack Sawinski as a one-off. Looks like a fairly chalky lineup overall. Yeah, it's not all the way to the left in terms of chalkiness. We do have a couple lower-owned bats in Yan Gomes at 6%, Kike Hernandez at 7%, but otherwise a fairly chalky lineup overall. And if we look on FanDuel, the top pitchers tool, Ohtani top of the board with a 16% chance of being the top pitcher. Then we had the Cubs and the Dodgers as the stacks. Cubs top of the board, Dodgers second. So 15% chance for the Cubs to be the top stack. Dodgers 14% chance. We get the 2 best stacks on the board in this lineup along with the top pitcher. So fairly fairly high projected lineup here, 125 projection, uses the full salary cap. It's chalky, but it's not all the way on the chalky end of the spectrum. So it looks like a really nice lineup. Save that one. Now this one, much less chalky. We still have Ohtani. We've got that 4-man Cubs stack in this one, 4-man Cubs and then 4-man Brewers. Again, Cubs top of the board. The Brewers are middle of the pack in terms of top stack odds, 8% chance of being the top stack. So we lost a lot of ownership, lose a little bit of projection as well, but only 3 points in projection. Generally, every lineup you're going to get here is going to be in the top 10% in terms of projection. And this one, still projects very, very well. Only loses 3 points and loses a lot of the ownership. So I really like this lineup even better than the last one, I think. All right, I'm going to go through and save 20 lineups. We had a big mix in this one. 90% Shohei Ohtani is a lot. 60% Seiya Suzuki, 60% Nico Horner, 55% Hap. Then we get Carlos Correa jumping in the middle of all these Cubs bats. 50% Correa. I would probably try to cut back a little bit on my Cubs. And honestly, I don't know that I want 90% Shohei Ohtani. Maybe it's okay. 16% chance of being the top pitcher at 35% ownership. So we have pretty massive negative leverage. But again, if he's the second best pitcher on the board and you can feel confident that he's going to be one of the best pitchers on the board, it's not the end of the world to eat some chalk at pitcher, get different with your bats. I probably don't want 85%. I'd probably cut back on that a little bit. Maybe Julio Urias against Oakland looks really nice at 8,800. Kind of depends on what you can pay up for in terms of bats. But I think that I'd probably try to cut back a little bit of my Ohtani exposure, maybe discard a few of my Ohtani lineups, go back and find some lineups that don't have Ohtani in them. And maybe even if I can find some lineups that have neither Ohtani nor Cubs stacks, that would be ideal, I think, just to get a few more of those in here. So I'm generally comfortable with these, but I'd probably get rid of a few of my lineups that are Ohtani with Cubs stacks like this one, and then try to find some lineups that have, maybe one or neither of that combo. All right, that is going to do it for this video. Thank you guys very much for watching. Again, if you haven't hit the like button, please do so. Helps me out a lot. Thanks for watching. Good luck tonight.